Speaker C.A. Sundararajan sir with us. I kindly request C.A. Sundararajan sir to occupy the dais as we begin the sessions. Thank you, sir. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to give a brief summary of our esteemed speaker, C.A.R. Sundararajan sir. C.A.R. Sundararajan is a fellow chartered accountant and a qualified information system auditor specializing in audit and assurance practice. With more than 4 decades of experience, C.A. Sundararajan has significantly contributed to the profession, demonstrating expertise in bank audits, corporate audits, tax audits, due diligence, and assurance standards. Beyond his exemplary practice, he is also a visiting faculty at esteemed institutions including Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Cost Accountants, Institute of Company Secretaries, Comptroller and Audit General of India, and various other institutions. He has also been actively involved with ICAI and has contributed on guidance note revisions, corporate audit and accounting and auditing standards. He has also been co-opted to various committees of ICAI and SIRC. Furthermore, he has also been a convener of the Chartered Accountant Study Circle and has conducted numerous workshops, seminars, and annual conference. He is also presently the treasurer of International Fiscal Association India branch. Additionally, he exemplifies dedication to social causes through lionism, blood donation, and contributes to the social needs of the society. It is indeed an honor to have such a distinguished professional with us today. On behalf of SIRC of ICAI, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to C.R. Sundararajan sir for accepting our invitation, sir. We truly appreciate him for taking the time to share his expertise and insight with us. I now request C.A. Sundararajan sir to take over the stage, sir. Thank you.
Good evening to everybody. It's again a pleasure to share whatever I know with an elite crowd of this SIRC branch of ICAI. In fact, I am under pressure because at least 6 or 7 of senior members whom I know one-to-one, they are coming and telling that seeing your name I have come today early, otherwise I would have come a bit early, including Mr. Sivapati, NSS. I have a lot of senior members here with whom I have been dealing with and discussing over a period of time. But I am really under pressure. What is that I am going to perform today? When the SIRC people spoke to me regarding this session to talk on documentation and peer review vis-a-vis bank audit. In fact, tomorrow we have a session, full day session in Savera on bank branch audit. There also they have asked me to talk on long form audit report, which I will be sharing tomorrow. Today when I asked them, said tomorrow we have a program, why do you have a program, another program today itself? Then they said that you can have a touch upon what is the peer review requirements as far as bank branch audit is concerned. We thought it's a good idea because next 1 week all of us will be running to bank audit, and within next 1 week we will be completing the bank audit. That is the reality, because we don't have time to complete this bank audit in a leisure time. What we have been doing, when I was doing in the initial stages, we were taking around 10-12 days and all. Nowadays it is not like that. They want us to take up a job on 3rd and want to complete on 5th. That is the level of activity which the branches are pressurizing us. So in this scenario, we have to talk on today's program. It's on documentation, relevance to the extent of bank branch audit with a peer reviews perspective, because all of us are subject to peer review. So we'll go through this session. I am too very happy to have a couple of peer reviewers also in this group, because wherever I am not a peer reviewer, but I have been assisting people to conduct this peer review, etc. So they can also have their value addition, because it's going to be a sharing of knowledge mutually only. Let me go through these sessions in a detailed manner. Caesar's wife. All of us know the impact on this. In my opinion, we are the only persons now in all the professionals to expect that an auditor should be like a Caesar's wife. He or she should be above suspicion. That is what the expectation. Because wherever we are doing an audit in any arrangement, it's a listed company or a public interest entity or wherever it is, they are presuming once the audited balance sheet is being given, everything is clear, because auditor is taking the 100% responsibility of all the transactions, which is not the case. But the reality is they feel that we are the only person to be above doubt, above difficulties, which is not the case. Actually, we are coming at the fag end of the year, wherein the clients have almost completed all the financial statements. Whatever they wanted to do, they have already done it. we are in a situation wherein we are under compulsion to give this attest function. In that scenario, what is that we can do beyond the level which is provided to us? That is the reality. But the issue is we are supposed to be Caesar's wife, we are supposed to be above suspicion. This is the rider with which I am going to talk on the next of the page. So let us go into, for a moment, we are diversing from the bank audit to talk about scope of peer review. What is the scope of peer review? So as far as peer review is concerned, I am 100% sure all of you would have gone at least one cycle of a peer review. If you have not done, this is the items which is being asked in respect of peer review. First is regarding compliance of the technical standards. I am circulating this material to the SIRC, they will be circulating to all of you, so you don't have to take a detailed notes, etc. That's not a problem. But compliance with technical standards, because peer reviewer is expecting all of us to check up. They are not going to do the audit of what we have done an audit, but the issue is they are asking us whether we are doing an audit in accordance with the technical standards, for which there is a set of questionnaires which is being asked by the peer review board, which we have to fill up in the initial stages. Same thing will be given to the peer reviewer also, and he is going into the situation asking whether we are followed the technical standards. So this is first item. Next is quality of reporting. After having done the audit, have you done the reporting in a proper manner? If it is required to be qualified, have you qualified? If there is been EOM, have you done the EOM? If it is a clean report, are you confident that you are giving a clean report? Need not be one report, can be any report, can be CARO, can be audit report, can be your SA705, whatever it is. So quality of reporting. Now we have to see what is that it's going to do in the case of a bank audit. Office systems and procedures. Peer review's idea is also into the office systems and procedures. To what extent it is applicable in respect of a bank branch audit? That's what we are going to touch upon, because they are having a lot of things on this peer review. We are not going to touch on those areas. What is relevant for the bank branch audit only we will find. Training programs for staff, because there is a specific paragraph in this peer review where they are asking whether the team which is undergoing an audit is being properly trained, or you are having training sessions on a periodical manner as far as the branch, as far as your staff is concerned. This is one of these items which is going to be critical question as far as peer review is concerned. And as far as this peer review is concerned, one more additional item which is being asked is general controls. What are all the controls as far as this peer review unit is doing? Example, the first item is independence and professional ethics. Whenever you are doing a client, whenever you are doing an audit, are you testing the independence test? Are you testing where you are coming under the professional ethics in a proper manner? There is a question on this peer review. So whenever an audit is being taken, you are supposed to follow a certain ethical standards. Are you following those ethical standards? That is applicable in respect of bank branch audit also. Next slide will be on what is the bank audit perspective, but let me understand, to put the fundamental strong, what is that which is asked in the peer review. So independence and professional ethics, this is the first item. Next item is maintenance of professional skills and standards, corollary to technical standards. Whether the professional skills for doing this audit is being applied in the audit of a bank branch audit is very, very critical. Outside consultation. Definitely all of us are not expert in everything. Whatever we do, we are not able to confidently say that whether we have completed in a comprehensive manner or not. In that situation, we will be requiring an outside consultation. Wherever outside consultation requires, have you been doing that? In the peer review, one particular chapter is only on this outside consultation. Wherever you have technical requirements, are you having any panel of outside consultants? Can be GST, can be income tax, or whatever it is. The same thing is applicable in respect of bank branch audit also. I am only picking up critical items. I am not talking about this peer review, because peer review is an independent class, bank branch audit is an independent class, accounting standards is an independent class. We are clubbing all those items to be covered in an hour, which is absolutely an Herculean task. Let me try to do as much as possible. Staff supervision and development. See, first year we have one set of staff, next year we are going to send the same staff for the bank branch audit. How much of development happens? Are they able to guide the next level of people? First of all, we ourselves are finding it difficult to guide a set of people. After that set of people has to guide the next set of people. Whether that process is happening, which is part of the peer review. And office administration also, which is relevant for the peer review. So these are the 5 general controls as far as a peer reviewer looks at when they are going to see your financial statements or audited reports, etc. So for doing this, what is applicable in respect of a bank audit perspective? That's what we are looking at. First thing is acceptance of a bank where loan or investment is there. This covers the independence threat. As far as peer review is concerned, they are asking whether there is an independent threat has been examined or not. Apart from this, what you call the corporate law, which states that you cannot have a outstanding more than 1,000 rupees in respect of the client. Similarly, in respect of bank audit also, I am not supposed to be a borrower, neither an investor in an organization, because almost all the banks are listed now. So we would have been having some investment by way of a shareholding. You are not supposed to be an investor, or neither we are supposed to be a borrower. Whether when you are giving the acceptance, have you examined this? Whether not only you, either of the partners, any of the partners should not have any borrowings as far as bank is concerned. Immediately next question will happens, what will happen in respect of loan on deposit? Loan on deposit is also a borrowing only, even though the money is taken only out of deposit, but effectively loan on deposit is also a borrowing only, so that also should not be there. The only option is you close it. So in that situation, if I have borrowed, can I not take up the audit of that bank itself? No problem. Before giving the acceptance, you should have cleared the loan. That's it. So if it is a small loan, you can better pay, because the loan, the fees which is going to be received is beyond the comparison as far as loan is concerned. Better you settle the loan and go. If it is a housing loan, it may not be possible. Second item is credit card dues. Whether the credit card dues will have an impact on these loans. It will have an impact because as on that particular date, you are a borrower only, because you have taken credit. Instead of getting the credit from the supplier, we have taken the credit from the bank. Somebody was asking a question in one of the seminars saying that, sir, the due date itself is coming only on 15th of next month. Then how do you say that today it's a due? The reality is, we are supposed to pay the money and take the purchase. Instead of paying the money, I have utilized a plastic money, and the plastic money belonged to a bank, and the bank has given the money to us because they have paid the supplier. What is our arrangement between them and the merchant banker? We are not interested. Let us be very, very clear. Bank has made the payment. So once they have made the payment, they have made payment on behalf of whom? On behalf of us. Once they have paid on behalf of us, we are indebted to the bank. So even the credit card outstanding, leave alone whether the due date has come or not. Once you have an outstanding in respect of the credit card, you have to clear it off and then we take the acceptance. So the first item is acceptance of a bank where loan or investment is there. Any specific question on this particular matter? Because I thought I wanted to answer those items, because these two questions have been asked in very many forums. If you have any specific questions, I will be very happy to respond immediately. Yeah. Even giving guarantee, absolutely. What he is saying is right. Not alone the loan, even if you have given a guarantee, that then also you are not supposed to accept. Yes, sir. Current account is not a problem, sir. But current account, if it is an overdraft, if it becomes an overdraft, then it becomes a liability. So don't have any item of indebtedness to the bank. You don't have an alternative, sir. You go switch over to another bank. That's all. But the reality is, when you are applying for the bank empanelment itself, you will be mentioning, if you have a loan in respect of any of these banks, you will definitely mentioning. In that situation, banks themselves are not supposed to pick up that items. But unfortunately, there is a gap. In fact, today I was talking to one of the leading firm who have got an appointment from State Bank of India. He has rejected, saying that I will not be able to accept it because I have I have a housing loan. In spite of that, they have said that no, we have already chosen, you have to accept it, which is not possible. I don't know how they have given it or not, but they have. So which means we are supposed to give the declaration. The question will happen only in respect of credit card dues and overdrafts, etc., because at the time of application probably you may not have taken a loan. That is the reason why we will have to be very, very specific that we are not supposed to take a loan from the nationalized banks as far as housing is concerned. It's better to go for a housing finance corporation. That's how I have been doing over a period of time. But you don't have an option, sir. It has to be settled only. Otherwise, it is not possible. As he rightly said, directly or indirectly. So relatives also will come into the picture. The second point which I would like to mention here is accepting without communication to the previous auditor. This is a part of the professional ethics. Professional ethics says, sir, the appointment, whenever you are getting an appointment from any client, you are supposed to communicate with the previous auditor. Two questions rise up in whenever this case is. The appointment is not by any particular client. The appointment is by Reserve Bank of India. Then why should I go for a NOC? People confuse between NOC and previous communication. I am not required to go for an NOC. There is nothing like NOC in the professional ethics. They are only asking, whenever you are taking up a job, please communicate to the previous auditor if he has any objection. If he does not have an objection, no problem. Next question is, sir, they are giving appointment on 28th of this month. They are asking us to take up the audit on 3rd of this month, next month. How will I get the NOC? You don't have to ask for an NOC. You have to only communicate to the previous auditor. So, previous auditors, earlier there was a situation that was not given. Nowadays in the banker's appointment letter itself they are saying that following are the auditors of the branches in the previous year. So, you can definitely explain. There are two advantages for us. One is we are complying with the ethical standards. Next point is, if that auditor happens to be your friend, there is every possibility he might be sharing some good thoughts about that particular branch, what are all the difficulties, etc. There is a possibility. I am not saying that 100% is going to be happening, but there is every possibility they will be able to share some thoughts with about the branch so that you can plan properly. Issue an engagement letter. Immediately people jump, sir, where is the time, sir? Sir, we have to plan, because peer reviewer is asking for whether you have a formal engagement letter. Is the appointment letter from the bank is sufficient? It is not sufficient, because appointment letter is given by the bank's head office. You are doing an audit of a particular branch, so you have to have an engagement letter with them. How do you get an engagement letter? You can prepare a letter stating that we have been appointed by your head office in the following manner. We will be doing the following this. You will be giving all these things. Please confirm. Send a letter. This has an advantage. In fact, one of my earliest time, now the book is not being republished because Bank Audit itself has gone down very badly. So I was having a book in which I was giving this engagement letter format itself, where it says, it asks for the information from the branch regarding what is the size of the branch, what is the profile of the branch. That we will take it up in the initial stage itself, which will be useful for our planning. So please have an engagement letter. If they are not giving an engagement letter, you give an engagement letter and take an acknowledgement from them, so that it will cover your requirement of a peer review. I am just going to the limited requirement of a peer review. Manpower allocation and training. Once again, this has a huge impact in the earlier point which I was mentioning about you, technical standards and my professional acumen. If you don't have a formal proper planning on respect of a bank audit, and you don't have a formal allocation in respect of your staff, you will not be able to do a proper effective audit also, because peer reviewer will come and ask you a question, how you have planned it properly, how you have allocated, have you trained the people properly, because the question is there in respect of training. There are lots of things which happen in respect of peer review only because of bank audit, because if many of us are not having listed companies, but even if the companies are there, audit may be lesser. Even in those situations, we may be having only bank branch audit. So anybody who is getting a bank branch audit is liable to go for a peer reviewer, because next year they are also bank is proposing to ask a question, have you been peer reviewed? So once if you have not been peer reviewed, you may not be getting an opportunity to get a bank audit at all. Next is regarding the technical standards, accounting and auditing standards. This is peer review portion. See, the previous I was talking about banker's perspective. This I am going to go for peer review portion once again. Apart from the regular standards, they are asking about technical standards. In the peer review, they are asking whether the firm is equipped to ensure that all of them are aware of accounting and auditing standards. Have you been having any record of event regarding general interpretations and circulars, clarifications, etc.? Do you have that system? Is the company, is the firm, peer unit, PU is having all this information? That is a question which is being asked in respect of the peer review. Have you been apprised about the guidance notes which has been issued by the Institute of Charters of India, and also the implementation guides which has been given? What is the self-regulatory measures? What do you call as self-regulatory measures? Whenever there is an independence threat is possible, have you been executing that impact immediately? For an example, your client may have a limit in a particular branch. You have got that audit of that particular branch. You can very well say that I have not borrowed, so you can take up the job. But at the same time, one of your client is having a facility in that particular branch. Can you do it? Point is, you can't be restrained from doing that. You can do it. But at the same time, we are supposed to inform the people in charge of governance. So what we have to, it's suggested is, we have to give to the bank saying that such and such unit is your borrower and is also our client. Do you have any objection? Anyway, we will depute another person. In fact, we did it. Bank has given a no objection to us. Please go ahead. It is ideal to have another auditor to do it. One of the other partners executed the audit. It was possible. So this is a self-regulatory measure which we do. That is, what do we do? Whenever we are taking up a client in our office, we have a self-regulatory measure whenever any conflict of interest happens or not. Same way, in case of corporates, we have, whenever the students are being recruited, we take an independence policy from them, independence letter from them. If they are referred or if they are relative of one of our clients, in the letter itself we will say that I am so and so, son of so and so, or daughter of so and so. In that situation, we are ensuring that they are not sent for the audit of that particular client office itself. Because even the audit team should have that independence. In the same scenario, if a person's father or mother is an employee in a particular branch, it's better that staff should not be sent for the audit. This is what is expected in the peer review. We do have a self-regulatory measure to ensure that the independence is being held back and in the respect of the audit which is being executed. And relevant legislations, leave alone one particular, say for example in case of a corporate audit we see CARO, we see Schedule 3, Schedule 2, all those things. Same way, what are all the things as far as bank is concerned. So now we will go to the bank audit perspective. I hope I am justifying between this and that so that it will be easy for us regarding the peer review. All of you would have covered the peer review, but still I am touching upon those items for us to ensure that. So from the bank audit perspective, what are all this literature that is relevant issues which is to be examined. First item is regarding RBI master circular and subsequent circulars. Every year RBI gives a master circular. The latest circular was given on 2nd of April 2024. After that there was no master circulars. 2nd of April 2024 was the master circular which is applicable for the current year audit. Sir, what will happen in respect of the master circular done that will be covering all the circulars given before? What will happen in respect of the transaction subsequently, for which they are giving subsequent circulars apart from the what has been given, unsubsequent circulars, master circular plus subsequent circulars. So they keep on giving. So once you go to the RBI website, rbiorg.in, definitely you will be having that master circular. 2nd April 2024, please note down, I don't have the number right now, but it is on given one. So once you go to the RBI website and ask for master circulars, master circular NP announce will be available, that you can download it. Please go through that. That is going to be your guiding force. We are not supposed to modify or change from the circular which is being given. We are bound by that entire circular. The branch is not going to help you, bank is not going to help you. Only RBI is the person who is going to help you out in doing the audit. Nobody else can look at it. Next is regarding the ICAI guidance note. Instead of Chartered of India keeps on giving guidance note every year, they are updating it. In fact, I was fortunate to update the guidance note for a couple of years, not in this year. I was able to do it. In the first year when I did the guidance note, I started the methodology by way of, instead of one big book of guidance note, we made it as two books. One is in respect of central search audit, one in respect of branch audit. So branch audit book has become lesser. We will be able to see. All of us have a reservation. Whenever the book is big, we don't even open it, because once it is big, we don't feel like opening it. Sir, is it possible to go through the guidance note in full? Not required. Guidance note is only for guidance. So whenever you are going for a specific area of audit, for example, if you are going to an industrial finance branch, there you are going to talk about a particular account which is being restructured or refaced. In that situation, you will have to go to the guidance note. What is the guidance note is saying in respect of those items? Take the case of an education loan. In respect of education loan, what should I see? You will have to go to the guidance note. Case of a certification of a capital adequacy. What do you see in case of capital adequacy? Go to the guidance note. In case you have a doubt. If you are confident, if you are able to say it in the clear manner, there is no requirement for a guidance note. Is the guidance note binding on us? Guidance note is absolutely binding on you, because there is no standard for that. It's only guidance note. There is no statements which has been given in respect of bank audit. So guidance note is binding on us. The advantage is, once you are going according to the guidance note, you don't have to complicate anything else at all. I will take you another classic example. This is going to be a real problem in respect of bank branch audit. Agricultural advances. I am getting a voice immediately. Agricultural advance. See, this agricultural advance, there are three components which is going to be there in case of agricultural advance. What is short-term duration crop? What is long-term duration crop? What is short-term duration crop in Chennai may not be a short-term duration crop in Nellore. What is short-term duration crop in Viluppuram, which is a dry area, may not be the same case in Nellore. Nellore, every 3 months there is a cultivation happens. Whereas the same thing is not in respect of Arcad, where it is only 2, sometimes it is 1. So the short-term duration crops and long-term duration crops depends on the local state level banking committee. So there is a SLBC in respect of each and every place where they are deciding the regions. That is one side of it. Apart from that, once you decide on this short-term duration crops and long-term duration crops, what is Kharif crop, what is that crop, what is this crop, what is sugarcane, all these things will have to be defined. As far as institute's guidance note is concerned, if you pick up the guidance note, there are 3 tables which are available in the guidance note, which is straight away explaining all of your problem. It is saying the date of disbursement is this, the due date of payment is this. In that scenario, when it becomes an NPA if the money is not coming. That table, which is a beautiful ready reckoner, which was done by us some 6 years, 7 years back, and it is continuously following. We are very happy, and they are updating also. You don't have to bother. In the current year, they have updated. So the point is, once you pick up the table, you just fill up. It's something like our ready reckoner. All of us know more than Income Tax Act. We are all very familiar with VG Mehta ready reckoner. Just we pick up the items the same way. You go to the ready this place and put it in that particular place. You will be able to do it. Beautiful. Definitely is helpful. So ICAI guidance note is very relevant in respect of these sort of difficult items. Why I am telling about this? The branch or banks will always keep on coming and telling, sir, this is not required. Why are you doing like this? Aggregate advance is not like this. You are getting a wrong interpretation. Guidance note, you show it. We have to do according to the guidance note. The circular of the bank also you can show it. In spite of that, if they keep on telling, you do whatever the calculation you want to do it and leave it like that. We are not bothered about this institute. We will keep our independence, arm's length distance with a particular branch. Next is regarding respective bank circulars and closing instructions. Every bank has these closing instructions. Whenever they are doing the bank audit, they will be giving these closing circulars, whether they are following it up according to that. Whether this circular can override RBI circular. Absolutely no. RBI, this circular has to be in line with RBI circular. So if you have RBI circular and there is a variation in respect of the bank circular, you can very well say that it is not in line with RBI circular. We don't agree on that. There are possibilities. Don't say that it cannot be possible. It can be possible because there can be some unintended errors which can happen in the circular. So wherever banks are giving circulars, please go through the bank circulars also, which will have its own impact, and on that basis you can do it. And closing instructions also, because certain banks in the closing instructions they say that you are not supposed to do the tax audit. In those cases you don't have to do it at all. In certain places they don't ask you to do certain certifications. You don't have to do it. In certain banks they ask for capital adequacy certificate. We'll have to do the capital adequacy certificate. So like that we have to go according to the closing instructions. After this important item, like what we are doing now, attending CPE meetings and training sessions both for partners and staff. It is very, very important. This is equivalent to your earlier point in case of a peer review, whether the professional skills are being updated as far as the peer units are concerned. We have to have CPE meetings. In the CPE meeting, because all said and done as far as this bank branch audit is concerned, every month we take up the work in the month of April, and by April 15th we pack the box and put it there and raise a bill and get that money. After that, for 11 months we forget about bank audit. This is the reality, except for those people who are doing concurrent audits. Otherwise we don't see the bank branch audit at all. So definitely by 11 months our mind will become stale. For ensuring that it is being refreshed, we will have to attend the CP meeting, even though the same thoughts, because last few years there is no changes at all in the NPA norms. There is nothing changed in case of LFR, except in the last 3 years there are lots of additional points which has been raised. But CPE meeting is compulsorily required as far as all of us are concerned. Not only for us, it's also for the staff. And then branch portfolio analysis. That is a starting point as far as bank branch audit is concerned, because we need to have what is the advances which is aspect of these branches. We have to do it, because depending upon this branch portfolio only, you will be able to depute a right person into the bank audit. A particular bank may be having full of only jewel loans. In that situation, you may not be required to have a senior member at all. There are certain there are certain banks which may be having a lot of industrial advances. So in that situation, you have to have a specialist on that area. So depending upon the portfolio analysis, so you track the portfolio not only for advances, even for the deposits. You have to examine who is to be deputed in respect of those items. After that, you have to send a questionnaire to the bank asking for details of the branch. Whether the bank will respond, it will respond. Please understand, is the way we are asking that question. Why this is required? Once again, we will have to go to SA 315, which requires we have to understand the business of the client. SA 200, we will have to go through that. So those two items are applicable in respect of a peer review also, in respect of the bank branch audit also. After getting that questionnaire, we will have to have a detailed plan and program. Audit plan and audit program. Is it different? Yes, it is different. Audit plan is an overall plan, who are all going to depute, when it is going to be started, when it is going to be completed. Whereas as far as audit program is concerned, divide that area. Advances, within the advances you divide into 5 segments of advances. In case of deposits, divide into 3 items. In respect of non-funded advances, you just divide in those area. LFAR, you divide in this area. Bookkeeping, you have to divide. So you have to have a detailed program. In respect of this, bank guarantees and letter of credit, what is it I am going to see? That is going to be in program. I am going to see non-funded advance. It is going to be in plan. What is going to be in program is in verification of this, what is that I am going to do? I am not going to touch upon the program plan, etc., because that will be one more session. So I am going to touch only on the it is required. Just go into this audit plan and programming. Now we will have to go into the specific area of what is the technical standards which is directly applicable in respect of bank audit. All the standards are applicable. Please understand there is no choice for us to say that this standard is not applicable, this standard is applicable. I am only coming into a situation what is critical standards. These are, we cannot escape from all these standards. That's what I am going to do it, which is first is SA 210, which is agreeing to the terms of engagement. This is what I have told in the first screen itself. You have to send an engagement letter. What is the terms of engagement as far as the branch is concerned? Terms of engagement is defined by bank, before that RBI. But what is going to be executed with this particular branch, you are going to set. That is, the following persons are going deputed for you. You are supposed to provide all this information. On the basis of information, I will be able to complete the audit and I will be certifying these statements according to this. This is as far as SA 210 is concerned. Next is very, very important, which is 230, audit documentation, which is going to be the topic for the day. But I am not going to touch on this SA 230 literally. SA 230, all of us have been hearing, because it's an absolute theory. What is the documentation? The documentation should talk for itself. Whenever another person sees your document and if he is able to understand what is it you have seen, that is called as a perfect documentation. Whether there is a perfect documentation as far as bank balance audit is concerned, it is possible. Example I will tell you. In a particular borrower, you are saying that it is an NPA. Branch is saying it's a performing asset. You ask them for the proof. They give the information. For this reasons, it is a performing asset. For example, they are saying that the number of days which you have taken for the purpose of this moratorium is wrong. The sanction letter says so. They give this information, sanction ticket copy, etc. You have those documents with you and say that because of this I have decided it is a performing asset. If you have the documentation, you are escaping. Go to a CC account. In a CC account, stock statement should have been obtained in a periodical manner. One is LFAR. For the time being, I will not go to the LFAR. I am talking about the NPA norms only. In the NPA norms, the stock statement should not be more than 3 months old or 6 months old, as the case may be. So, if you have got the stock statement as on 30th of August, after that we have not get the stock statement, so you classify it as an NPA. The branch people come and say that I have a stock statement which has been given in the month of February. Probably the staff has not given to you. They come and give the stock statement. If it is reliable for you and if you are able to understand that it is acceptable, you take the copy. In that scenario, you are going to say that why you require this? If it is in the month of August, stock statement has not been obtained. September, October, the account would have been shifted to, from SMA 0 it would have gone to SMA 1. And November, from SMA 1 it would have gone to SMA 2. And December it would have become an NPA as far as this SMA classification is concerned. On February, they are getting the bank statement and they would have upgraded to standard. So whenever an upgradation happens because of this technical issue by way of stock statement, you have to get a proof that the stock statement has been updated. This is one item. One more example I will tell you. The upgradation can happen in respect of substandard assets only when the entire arrears is clear. There is a guidance note, there is a RBI circular also. An account which has been classified as substandard can become standard only when the entire arrears is cleared. What does it mean? If it is an NPA, it has to come to SMA 0. There is no arrears at all. Normally what happens is, when there is an arrears of 3 months, it becomes an NPA. They collect only 1 month, then it becomes 2. So, sir, it is only SMA 2, sir, it is not NPA. It is not the case. Because as long as it is not slipping into NPA, all this jugglery can happen. Once it slips into NPA, if it has to come to SMA 0, the entire arrears has to be clear. On this scenario, you classify one account as NPA. They come and say, sir, no, sir, the entire area is clear. Ask for the proof. If they are able to give the proof and if the proof is satisfactory to you, you keep that copy and then take a decision. This account is classified as a performing asset. If you have those 3-4 papers with you to confirm that these things are there, that is a perfect documentation. See, as far as documentation is concerned, it's an absolute theory. You will not be able to concretely say that whether this document is right or wrong. But as long as you are convinced that this document has proven your professional acumen and decision, that is a good documentation. Because I can say something and you can see something. But ultimately, another independent practitioner, if he sees a document and if he proves, if he accepts that what you have concluded is right, that is called as proper documentation. So 230 is very, very relevant. That is applicable in respect of bank branch audit. I have given only 3 examples. There are umpteen number of examples. Take the case of one LFAR question. There is a question in LFAR saying that in respect of advances, sir, what is the time? இப்போ டைம் இல்லை, எத்தனை மணிக்குன்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க? இல்லை, எத்தனை மணின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க? 4:50 கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணுமா? ஜிபிலையும் வந்துடுவாங்களா? அவன் வந்தப்பறம் முடிச்சுக்கலாம்ல? இல்லை, see, I have to pace it accordingly. Doesn't matter. So take the case of long form, because examples, once you start examples, you keep on going, extending only. LFAR, there is a question which states that in respect of deposits and advances, whether the increase in advances is parallelly increasing the interest and whether there is any negative variation or not. You cannot conclude just like that, saying that last year 1 crore, this side 5 crores, so interest has not increased like that. It is not like that. There are lots of equations just where that is, if the loan has been increased only in the month of March, not for the whole year, so interest will come down only. Interest will not go up like that. If the deposits have been taken only at the end of the year, interest will become lower only. All these things has to be compared. If you have a documentation to prove how these loans has increased over a period of time, whether it has contributed to the change in variation of interest, etc., and keep it with you, you are through with the documentation. Otherwise, we are in a problem. Because NPA classifications, please understand, RBI is coming for AFI. If your bank has been covered by AFI in the Reserve Bank of India the next year, and they find out some accounts has been not been classified as NPA, notice is being sent to the members saying that why you have not classified this particular account as an NPA. In fact, I will share a classic example. All of us know an event occurring after the date of balance sheet. I hope all of us understand about this. There is a branch, large branch, which was covered by an audit by one of the leading firms who have done audit for the month of 31st of March. There was an arrears which required an account to be classified as an NPA. It was not classified as NPA because on 3rd or 4th of April they collected that money and they showed to the auditor that money has been collected, so you don't have to classify it as an NPA. He said that it is not sufficient, the account has to be closed, then only I can classify it as an NPA. The account was also closed. The entire arrears was closed. That account was itself was there in the month of April. He classified as a performing asset. RBI, AFI next year, they visited and they said that you are wrong. The NPA classification as on 31st of March, what you have done by way of events occurring after the balance sheet is wrong. Why can't I take an action against you? There was a notice to him. I am telling you a real case. It went up, large firm. They explained all these things. We have a standard called events occurring after the date of balance sheet. On that basis, we have covered this, and anyway, the account is fully closed, so it does not have an impact. They said, yes, your reply is accepted. Being the first time of an offence, we are leaving it like that. I am telling you, I am not telling a story, sir. This is a reality. So effectively what happens is the AF is going to be a Damocles sword which is going to fall on our head. So wherever you are doing that, please ensure that the documentation is properly done as far as this particular branch is concerned. This is regarding SA 230. Next is regarding SA 240. I am going in the sequential because I am not touching on all the items, I am touching only the relevant areas. SA 240. There is a standard which talks about whenever a fraud happens, how we are going to, what is our responsibility to report the fraud. We are not here to find out the fraud, but wherever a fraud has happened, we are supposed to give a report. But there is a potentiality of fraud which we have to give it in the form of a long form audit report. So this SA 240, we are supposed to go through that whenever a fraud happens in respect of a particular branch and it is being reported according to that. And next is regarding important portion of the audit, 300. Planning and signing of a financial statements. What is that? How you have done the planning, how you have done the audit of the financial statements, which is applicable in respect of all the companies. Same way it is applicable in respect of a bank branch audit also. Next is very, very important, 315 ROMM, risk of material misstatement. Very, very important, because in case of corporates, we are having this ROMM in respect of inventories and book debts. There is a hell of things which are happening in respect of ROMM. But as far as bank is concerned, the risk of material misstatement is in respect of NPS and also in respect of advances itself. Whenever there is a risk which is there, it is going to be there in a serious manner. I am hearing beautiful noise outside, so I will have to complete as early as possible. Next thing is materiality. As far as banks MOCs are concerned, they are asking us to follow materiality, because central statutory gives a materiality amount. Beyond that, it will not be there. But that materiality is not applicable in respect of NPS. NPS, even if it is one item which is 1,000 rupees, if it has to be provided for, you have to provide for it, because materiality does not have an impact on the NPS. That is only in respect of from this account to that account, or this expenditure to be accounted, or whatever it is. That's all. Beyond that, it is not going to be there. So materiality, we have to examine what is the materiality which you have taken. Anyway, this LFR talks about large advances. What is large advance? They have explained. According to that only, we are going to do the materiality. And next is audit evidence. Whenever you are going through the audit, please ask for the evidence which is going to be the supporting topic for you, which is SA 500. And after that, you will have to go into the analytical procedures. Very, very important in respect of advances, in respect of deposits, in respect of non-fund advances. You have to go for an analytical procedure to find out which is an important advance as far as this branch is concerned. Can be an agriculture advance, can be a CC account, can be a jewel loan, can be a overdraft, anything for that matter. I know a branch which I have done an audit donkey years back, where the total advance is 62 crores. 50 crores was in bill discounting, only 5 accounts. If I see the 5 accounts, the entire branch is covered. Balance is only 12 crores. So the concentration there is going to be different when you compare with a branch in rural branch, where the total advance is 5 crores, consists of 5,000 accounts of jewel loans. So the materiality differs from this case to case. We will have to draw it up in a proper manner and then do the audit. Very, very important. Sampling. What is the sample you have chosen? How you have chosen the sample, which is for you to document. According to that, you will have to see what are all the accounts which has been seen, why this account was not verified. A particular account, more than which account you have verified, you have to decide why this account was not verified. That is important. And the last but not the least is written representation. Most of the banks are not willing to give the written representation, but it is required. We are bound to have this written representation. Somehow or other you give it. If they are not giving it, you give a written representation and take an acknowledgement from the written representation at least. Bank audit can be done in 2 days, but they are asking you to complete in 2 minutes. Just 2 slides. Even if he comes, I will request some more time for him. I am deciding on the item which is going to be given us in the permanent file, what is going to be temporary file. This is an important item. What we have seen covered so far is in respect of various standards which has to be covered. What is going to be in permanent file? Appointment letter from the bank. I am talking about the only bank audit perspective. Next 2 slides. I knew that this time pressure will happen. That's why I jumped into it. Appointment letter from the bank. Next is acceptance and declaration which you have filed. Once you take the acknowledgement, you give a due diligence, that is, I am not having any interest, etc. That declaration you give it, that has to be given in the next one. And next is branch profiling analysis. Just now I told you about this branch profiling. You need to know what are all the advances, how many numbers, how many advances, what is the total outstanding as on 31st of March. Both these things you cover and find out what is the number which you have verified. That will be covering your requirement of this analysis. Evaluation of controls. How the branch is under control. Whether this inspection is properly done, computation is properly done, whether the respective subordination is happening, whether the rotation of staff is happening, all these things are going to be a control. A person who is in charge of advances permanently and he is not at all changed for purpose of reconciliation, that itself is a dangerous internal control issue. Record communication with the previous auditor. That I have told you, that has to be kept up. And then what is current files? This is very, very important. This is going to be very record communication with the previous auditor. Don't worry, sir, I will be circulating to the SIRC, they will be circulating to you. You don't have to bother. And then this current file, what are all the working files which are relevant? This is a huge item. I will go through that in a slightly faster manner. In case of any issue, you can ask it. First is borrower data sheets. Whether all the borrower data sheets are not required. In respect of the data sheets which you are verifying, that particular borrower's data sheets, you will have to do it. NPA computation sheets. That is NPA as on 31st of March 2024 and NPA as on 31st of March 2025. Both has to be required. Then only you will be able to do a proper reconciliation. Sampling data and methodology. What is the sampling data and methodology? You will have to calculate what is the number of accounts which you have verified in respect of term loans. What is the number of accounts you have verified in these items? You will have to examine that. Test check computations. Definitely the interest will be doing some test check, interest on deposits, or if you have done any other test check by way of PMRI loans, etc. What is the test check which you have done? Please note down the computation and according to that you will have to do it. Loan analysis sheets. As far as the branch is concerned, they will take a certification. All the papers they will come and ask for round sheet from our side. We keep on putting the round sheet, there is no problem. But what is that you have to take it is the loan analysis sheets in respect of all the banks. If it is huge in size, take at least a soft copy. You are having the right to ask for it. Whatever you are attesting, you are eligible for a copy. You can take for it. Subventions computations. Wherever interest subvention happens in respect of agricultural, nothing will be given to you. They will give us Excel sheet and ask you to certify. Please ensure that whatever be the computation which is there in respect of subvention, please examine what is it you can have to that extent. And next is maturity pattern computations. But is in respect of deposits you have a maturity pattern. In respect of loans you have a maturity pattern. CC accounts they will come and put as long-term loans, which is wrong. And as far as loans are concerned, any installments outstanding recoverable is in the next 12 months, 12 to 24, 24 to 36, 36 and above. How this computation is happening? There is a methodology. Please ask for the working sheet and keep it with you. Capital adequacy computation, none of us know. The reality is none of us know. But the point is they have a computation. But you have to ask for the computation. Just an example I will tell you. In respect of staff loans, whatever is balance outstanding in respect of staff loans in their SBI accounts has to be adjusted. Have they adjusted it? If they have not adjusted, you can ask for that. In respect of other loans, whatever be the balance outstanding which has been given in respect of that particular borrower account, and equally in the current account or SBI account, that also has to be taken, and then we'll have to give it. Whenever you do certification, ask for the computation backup. Take the case of subsidy, PMROE subsidy, PMROE loans, interest subvention, education loan subventions, whatever be the computation which is available, ask for the copy, keep it with you. You would have verified it, please ensure that it is being calculated and verified with you on all this matter. Sir, no, varle sir, 2 minutes only. Parolya, Raman. And 2 minutes into the restriction. One more slide is there. Tax audit particulars wherever applicable. Many banks are not covered under tax audit, but wherever it is applicable, please ask for the information. Take the case of TDS, whether it has been deducted or not. In that situation, if you are going to give a certification in respect of annual quarterly returns dates, ask for a copy of that and keep it with you, because you should know whether you have filled up in a proper manner. There might be some revised returns. That revised returns also has to be verified. Please fill up what all the information which has been given in respect of tax audit. These are only samples. There can be much more than what is going to be given, but I am just giving you a sample which are going to be part of the temporary working files. Balance sheet, profit and loss account, other certifications. What are all the certifications which we do? We are eligible for one copy. Please take it. Number one. Second issue, whenever you are in doing bank audit, ensure that the bank's final circular is being seen, which will list out what all the certification which has to be given. Because subsequently they will come and ask for one more certificate. You may not be able to go to the branch at all. You will have to sign a blind certificate, which is very, very dangerous. Please ensure that exhaustively what all the certification which has to be given, please do that in a proper manner and give it. Reports and final papers. All the reports including capital adequacy report, NPI report on 31st of March 2025, and your LA report, LA summary report, your maturity pattern advance, all the reports you have to go for that. And as far as audit report is concerned, if it is tax audit report, main statutory report, IFSC report, if it is there, IFSC report, please take a copy and ensure that it is being taken in the current file. Audit plan, as I told you, how the planning was done, who are all going to be deputed, when it has to be started, when it has to be completed, that has to be mentioned in that audit plan. Audit program, as I told you, it is more of it. These are all, I have already touched upon that. I am only telling you now, which is to be in the current file. System testing results, very, very important. Whether you have checked up the system, very, very important, because in the long form audit report, lots of places the question is being asked, whether the inoperative accounts are properly controlled or not, whether the branch is having controls in respect of dual operations in respect of CC account, whether the lien marking in deposits is being made in the system, whether the interest rate is currently fed in the system, whether the Chrysler rating is fixed correctly entered in the system. All these things are asked in the long form audit report. So in that situation, whether it is correctly done or not, you will have to examine. At least 4 cases of loan and deposit you will have to examine whether the lien marking is happening in respect of these items. Whether the inoperative accounts can be removed and shifted to operative account only with a specific power of the particular branch manager. You can go and examine in one particular inoperative account to change that inoperative to operative. If it happens, it is dangerous. If it is not happening, it's okay. Take that screenshot. Take that screenshot and keep it with you. That is what I am saying, that systems testing results. Whenever you are doing this sort of system testing, whether we are eligible to do it, we are authorized to do it, we are authorized to do it. Inoperative accounts, you can ask for the examination. Lien marking, you can check up. Lien removal, you can check up. Stock statements entering in a different date, you can check up. Rate of interest, whether it can be wrongly filled up, that you can check up. You try this. Set with that. No, you don't do that. Your login system is going to be only audit only. It is not going to be a correction only. But sit in the branch manager. See, branch manager is authorized to do certain things. In fact, please understand, in very many banks, branch manager is not authorized to do certain things. Only the accountant is eligible for that. What is an accountant eligible for to do that? If the manager is able to do it, that is in system violation. Segregation of duties and circulations, rotation of auditors, that also has to be there. And then you will have, he just found out the time is over, so that itself has come for all these slides. Anyway, statistical information in respect of each and every branch which has to be taken. Critical accounts, stock and security reports. Please understand, this is very, very important. Whether we can ask for a copy of all the data sheets of the party. No, it's not required. So 2 minutes they have extended to 20 minutes. No, the advantage which we have is the topic is a fantastic topic. We can speak for one day as long as you are willing to hear. But at the same time, when I am pressured to close it in a spot of time, it's a spot of bother. But anyway, I have covered maximum. Next 5-10 minutes we will have it as an interaction because we have completed it. Critical accounts, stock and security reports. See, whenever large advances are happening, and in respect of large advances, you have some difficulties in identifying this NPAs, etc. During the year, it has slipped into NPA, it has upgraded to performing asset. In respect of those sheets, you take a printout fully. Keep it with you because you will be under compulsion to defend yourself at a later date. Once you come out of the branch on signing on the 6th or 7th of April, next day you will go in, you will not even give you water, leave alone the documents. So the point is, whenever you are coming out of it, you will have to be with the full set of documents what is required to. So please take download. Only thing is, many a time they will come and say, sir, this cannot be downloaded, it is not downloadable, so it is not possible. Definitely it is downloadable. Only thing is, they will be able to send only by way of a mail. They will not be able to take a pen drive copy because pen drive is not restricted in almost all the banks. So that is not going to happen. Security reports. In the same way, there are lots of security which is being taken by way of properties, etc. You have some doubt in a particular case that the security valuation which has been done is wrong. In that situation, they have given a valuation. Ask for the valuation report. I have a classic disciplinary case which has happened. A property was valued at an amount of a crore, purchased at a value of 1 crore. Within 3 days, they take a valuation report of 10 crores and they taken a loan. The party has defaulted. The case has happened on that particular valuer. I am talking about the particular borrower. But ultimately, valuer was escaped. But the auditor was signed on the basis of the net worth certificate which was given on the basis of reverse value. He was caught because we are the only person who can be taken to task. So this is a problem. So please ask for the security valuation report whenever you have a doubt. Not that everything can be taken up. Security valuation report you will have to take it. Audit checklist for various advances. So whenever you have advances, please have checklist. For example, vehicle loans, what are all the things which you are verifying? Education loans, what are all the things which you are verifying? Please have a checklist. I will circulate tomorrow that checklist. If any of you are going to come to Savera, you will have that copy of the checklist. Otherwise, it will be available in my website subsequently. Please download it at that point of time. But that checklist is important for each and every advances because this only will support you to the peer reviewer saying that you have done according to a particular methodology. Because only the documentation will prove that you are able to, you have done a job in a proper manner. If there is no documentation, you will not be able to do it in a proper manner. And the next is regarding management representation letter. It's part of the document. Many banks are not willing to give management representation letter, but you have to somehow get it. Even the worst bank which is not willing to give it, which is Canara Bank, I was able to get it. What I was able to get it, we sent a mail to him. That is, these are the management representation which you have been giving me. I am sending you the list of representatives which you have made. Please acknowledge. He said he has accepted the bail. With that it is over because beyond that I will not be able to do anything further. The reality is that in respect of Andhra Bank has a part of the booklet itself, a management representative is there. This is one good bank, one bad bank. But both will be having its own, because Canara Bank makes it very clear, we will give MRL only to the central statutory auditor. Whatever a branch audit I am doing, I am supposed to be eligible for this representation letter. Ask for that, you will have to go for this. If you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer in this final forum, as long as the president is not renting. Hero of the day has to enter. Once he enters, all of us will be complete. Any questions so far in respect of these items, or any other additional questions also? This I have made it up in such a manner that it is effectively the peer review vis-a-vis the bank branch audit. There can be many more items as far as bank audit is concerned, many more items as far as peer review is concerned. But I am just making a matchmaking in respect of peer review and bank branch audit to the extent which is possible within 1 hour to be discussed. If you have any specific questions, I will be very happy. Yes, sir.
Can we ask them to give updated encumbrance certificate to ensure that there are no further charges created or no fraudulent documentation has happened for the property?
Definitely required. Beautiful question actually. As far as housing loans is concerned, normally it is a loan given for 15 years. So nobody bothers after disbursing that amount. Within 3 years, 4 years, he goes and applies for a copy of the document. Please understand, the court has already decided nowadays for registering a property you don't require the original document. Unfortunate decision, but nothing can be done. The court has taken a decision, we cannot go with it. In that situation, the people will be able to go for an additional registration at some point of time. Dangerous. Beautiful question. When not only housing loans, any property mortgages which has been taken, it is ideal to ask for a periodical encumbrance certificate. At least once in 3 years, they will have to have an encumbrance certificate. You can ask for it if it is not obtained, because one of the LFR points says that whether the encumbrance certificate is periodically obtained or not. In that you can very well mention about this, it has not been obtained. Yes, sir.
If it has to be periodically obtained, should it not be built up in the system itself?
It should, sir. Many items, system, EC cannot be linked to the system wherein it directly applies in the online. It is not possible.
The responsibility should be on the shoulders of the management.
Yeah. See, unfortunately, the entire responsibility falls on the shoulders of the management only. But when problem happens, its responsibility is shifted to our shoulder. That is the problem.
No, my question is different. If it is a part of the system, not following it, we can write. Whereas without being mentioned in the system.
No, sir. All the banks have a system of obtaining periodical income. All the banks have a system. Only thing is, they don't ask for it on a periodical manner. But every 3 years they are supposed to obtain a periodical. Most, particularly the SBI, can very categorically say they apply for once in 3 years EC. So they are part of your policy. SBI has it as policy. Other banks I don't know. If it is advisable, whenever you are going for an audit of a particular branch, you can very well say that this is to be required to be done. Yes, sir.
So similarly, in housing loan, we have observed that when they finance apartments which are part of a huge complex, initially the valuer gives a huge value or assigns a huge value for the property. By the time we do the audit, we could see reduction in the value based on subsequent press ads given by the same builder for the same project. How to deal with such situation?
Sir, it's a very tough matter. It's basically a credit appraisal issue more than the security issue. At the time of credit appraisal, if the valuation happens like that, you are under compulsion to do this. It's a difficult question to answer apparently, but in that situation, when you are doing an audit, if the valuation has gone down, you can very well mention in the long form audit report where the valuation has deteriorated in respect of the same property. Why going to a different property? Sir, go to the property at Vadabaini. When the loan was taken, it was given for a specific building, and the buildings have also been completed. Subsequently, court has ordered to demolish. Now the entire banks which has given a loan, there is no valuation at all. There is no valuation because everything is demolished. But at the time of giving the loan, there was a value. On that basis only the valuation, credit appraisal would have completed. But there is a deterioration value which we are very well willing to give it in the form of a report, in the long form of report, but it will not have an attraction on the NPA norms. Once again, these sort of things are very relevant for the purpose of peer review documentation, because how did you determine this? you have to have a documentation for you to satisfy yourself. I will share one more classic example in respect of housing loan. What has happened is, there was if I'm right, it's in State Bank of India only a couple of years back, a loan was given to a I don't want to mention the name of the organization. One organization's senior chief executive, chief CMD, he was drawing a loan income of around 4.6 lakhs per annum. So on that basis, they have calculated and they have given a loan for 2 crores. They have given a loan. But the point is, he was around 57 years. Next 3 years, he is going to retire. I asked him, see, sir, it's a huge property. This property in Vadabeni, sir, valuation is fully covered, sir. Valuation is covered, no problem. But how are you going to recover it? Because next 3 years he is going to retire. No, sir, his son is also part of the deal. The property is being purchased for the son only. He will give it to the son. Is he part of the borrowing document? I asked the question, if he is part of the document, I will agree. Because he is a co-borrower, he will be paying the amount subsequently. It was brought into the long form audit report. It was raised as an issue. Subsequently, they got a documentation, joint documentation from the particular son. In this scenario, when I am giving the long form audit report, I have to have a copy of the document, because they will come and say subsequently that you have not covered this at all. If I have not covered this at all, it's going to be a serious issue upon us. I am only talking from the Bank Audit documentation, which is going to be subject to peer review. Nothing more than that. But in this scenario, what all the documents are required, that we have to keep it with us.
See, we make a lot of observations in the LFIR, and also we make some suggestions regarding MOC. How the central statutory auditors have dealt with this should not be communicated about it. There is total silence. We are also professionals.
There is no system for which they are supposed to give a response. But your point is, apprehension is very well appreciated, because we having given a report, at least we will have a satisfaction that we have reported. To that extent, we will be coming out with that. But whether the central statutory auditor is supposed to give it to this respective people information that your thing has been properly dealt with, I don't know. Probably if it probably by seeing a branch audit wherein the previous year MOCs have been entered into the books, we should be happy that the earlier auditor has been respected. To that extent, we will have to satisfy, because beyond that, it's not going to happen anywhere. Any other questions? Yeah.
Loan period should be revised. There was a circular, but there was no absolute clarity with respect to the branches, that's how to deal with. There was one finding, but the manager wasn't accepting it at all. That
your question is in respect of an account where there probably interest rate has changed or something like that, the EMI is going. I will tell you a classic example of similar item. There was a person who has taken a property loan in a particular branch, and the entire property he constructed the first floor property also, and that first property was given to the same bank for rent. So to the extent of rent recovery only, they fixed an EMI. Actually, the EMI was pathetically short of the money required. What happens is, but EMI has been regularly paid as long as the EMI is. So here there is an absolute short EMI. We had to give only in the long form audit report, because it is not going to have an effect on the NPA, because once an EMI based loan is there, as long as EMI is recovered, it is not an NPA. So LFIR you can mention about this. Apart from that, if there is a systematic issue in respect of most of the items, you can talk about a systemic error also. In the long form audit report on the miscellaneous item, you can give it to bring it to the attention of the central statutory auditor that the EMI fixation is apparently wrong in most of the cases, which will have a serious impact on that. Accordingly, the system can be taken care of. There was no question on peer review at all. I thought of having some questions on peer review. Everybody is asking about bank audit. Any question on peer review vis-a-vis bank audit? Any peer reviewers here? Sir, has it been covered to the extent of what is required on a bank branch audit? Yeah. More than
what we normally see. Because
Mike?
based on my experience, what I can say is normally for assurance engagements in the form of statutory audit, yes, most of the PU practice units are aware of the documentation to be maintained. They follow from SA 230 onwards up to the various risk of material statement, emphasis of matter, etc., etc. But one area where I find it's lacking is when they do the statutory branch audit. probably apart from the engagement letters and few documentation here and there. The reason given is we have very short time and we are not number one. B, we are not able to get the most of the documentation downloaded due to various reasons, due to controls being exercised or due to some excuse by the branch manager. So that is one area I find, but otherwise, and you have covered beautifully, but I do not know whether in these 2 to 3 days of your actual physical activity, whether you will be able to cover all the areas. And more specifically, most of these areas are very well applicable to statutory audits. That much I would like to say.
Yeah, thank you. So he is a reputed peer reviewer, so he is able to give an input on this area. But one item which I would like to mention is, within 3-4 days the entire thing may not be covered. But the point is, what we have covered is an exhaustive area. In respect of a branch which is more of a rural advances, many of these items will not be covered. So to that extent you might be able to cover. My mail ID I have given, it is sundar@srbr.in. Those who are not able to get your thoughts clear or send a mail, etc., I will be able to respond to you. In fact, Institute is also having a meeting on clarification for branch auditors in the first week of during the audit. During the audit, if you have any issue, in fact, I am one of the panelists. So, in case of any specific questions which you are coming across during the bank audit, you can raise that issue. We will be able to respond. But one point which I would like to mention here is very clear. Peer review is going to stay. And as long as it is going to stay, bank audit, any peer reviewer will know about bank audit. You might be able to hoodwink any peer reviewer just like that in case of another audit, but not in the case of bank audit, because all of them know what is being given. Like sir was telling very clearly, whether you are able to download the documents which are required in respect of peer review, it is possible. Only thing is, the cooperation has to be obtained from the people. It has to be obtained, not even purchased. It has to be obtained, forcibly obtained, because they are giving an access. And one more important which I would like to mention is, as far as this audit module entry is there, that is, you have an auditor's access which is being given by the branch. That itself they are not willing to give. You have to ask for the regional office to give this, ensure that it is being. Once that auditor access module is given, 90% of the reports can be downloaded. 90% of the reports can be downloaded. The only difficulty is, from that system, how you take it to your copy is very important. The only way is, they can put it in a zipped file and send it across to by way of a mail, because only email is acceptable as far as bank is concerned. No pen drive is possible to be given, and they will not give you access to your laptop, which is not advisable also. Don't take, it's better, because once there is an issue which is going to happen, they will be putting the blames on our head only. Any other questions?
Sir, most of the banks now has an NPS system in their system itself. So how much we can rely on this system?
You don't have any other option other than to rely on the system. But only thing is, you can go through the system and examine whether the system is having a lacuna of non-compliance. That we have to examine only from the systems. On the basis we will have to do it. But you have to rely on the system. You don't have any other option. You have to rely on the system only. Thank you very much for patient listening. We are having the hero of the day, President of the Institute of Chartered of India, being escorted by the council members. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.